So I was sent this post, and I will be honest, I don't know Liam Payne. I heard about him after he died, but this was sent to me from the abusive relationships subreddit. And there's a cautionary tale, or there is something to be learned even with celebrity stories. So I started reading through this. Like I said, this subreddit is called Abusive Relationships. So the mod said, support thread for people feeling triggered by Liam Payne's death and the blaming of the ex fiance he abused. Okay, let's see what's going on with this. So the mod said, I just wanted to put this out there because the news coverage of Liam Payne's death, former member of the ultra popular former band boy One Direction, yesterday is extremely triggering. Liam Payne relentlessly stalked and harassed his ex fiancee, Maya, for 2 straight years after their breakup in 2022. He began dating her when she was just a teenager, and they met when she was allegedly only 15. He pressured her into a abortion she didn't want and refused to take her to the hospital when she experienced complications from it. He would obsessively contact her and her mother and friends from countless burner numbers and would threaten to self delete to her and her mom. His friends would tell Maya that if she published a book based off their relationship, she did, the whole world would blame her for something if something happened to him. Now, scores of men and some women are all over social media accounts telling her that she is responsible for his death. She was also seeking lawyers just a week ago to issue a cease and desist letter to him to stop his harassment of her. I'm sorry that Liam Payne died, but I'm more sorry that misogyny is so deeply ingrained in our society that women get blamed for men's actions. That is so true. People did this to Ariana Grande when Mac Miller died too, though in that case, there isn't any evidence he was abusive. If you're triggered by this whole situation, I'm right there with you. This isn't fair. Like I said, I don't know these people, but we do know the power dynamics of someone that's more powerful, the age gap situation, all of that. That happens. And this is just playing out on a bigger scale. Women being blamed for men's action happens. And like she said early on, this can be triggering. This can be triggering because women do get blamed, and we have got to lay off of that. So I'm learning more stuff in the comment section. So Sequent Moon says, I used to be a Liam girly up until about when they all went solo. I recently have been watching all of Maya's content because I can relate to her experiences and went through my abusive breakup over the summer. The moment he died, I felt sick to my stomach because I could not imagine how I would feel knowing he's always going to have fans who will defend him mixed with the timing. It felt wrong, like he got out of being held accountable. Simultaneously, I felt as though I'm betraying the 16-year-old in me who would be absolutely devastated that her favorite person died so young. I would never wish death upon anyone. I wish Liam lived to be sober, to own up, and to become a better person on his own terms. Grieving people who do not necessarily deserve my sincerity, maybe she meant sympathy, seems to be the theme of my year. Okay, so then Lopsided External said, where can I find the evidence this is in the paper? I never heard about any of this abuse. Then Ima says, put this into Google and it should come up with articles, Liam Payne, domestic abuse X. The person at the bottom says, reading what he did to his ex was very triggering. Exactly what I experienced being stalked, the multiple accounts, the abusive, threatening messages, blackmail. Oh, man, this dude seems like a real number. Okay, so Temporary Thing says, I'm completely on her side, just that there are people who support a man who terrorized this woman, as well as her mother, is unfathomable to me. His fame, his looks, his money mean nothing. If he is abusive, nothing. And that's what he became, nothing. If you are abusive and deliberately hurt your loved ones, you are really effing weak. Edit. This applies to both sexes, of course, just got a little emotional about all of the support for an abuser. Please stop standing behind people who hurt their fellow human beings. Adventurous Course says, it's absolutely wild to me how people always seem to flock to the abuser and blame the victims. It just boggles my mind. RX Tree says, even the people who aren't blaming the victims, there are way too many posting like, yeah, it sucks about Maya. But, anyways, oh my God, I'm so sad. I love Liam forever. It's just completely uncritically centering their nostalgia for a band that broke up over a decade ago over a right of an abuse victim to not have to see people who they never even met, let alone personally knew her abuser celebrating his life. Yeah, that would definitely be triggering. This person says, always, effing always. It hurts so effing much. Substantial Spare says, this is now the world. Maybe this is how the world is, unfortunately. My ex was abusive. I finally got out after 34 years, and then he died of chronic alcoholism 16 months later. And people blame me because he was heartbroken and must have drank himself to death because he was nice to them and a great person, and they can't fathom how he was how abusive he was to me and the kids. So I went and found this People article on Liam. It says, overwhelmed by legal issues with ex, Maya Henry, before his death at 31. Just listen to how they type this. Liam Payne was struggling with issues related to his ex fiancee, Maya Henry, in the period leading up to his death on October 16th. So he was struggling with his issues, even though it seems like he was the one that was stalking her. It's really weird how they tap danced around that. They made it sound like I don't know what kind of issues, but it doesn't really say because he was actually stalking her. It doesn't put any of the onus of his behavior on him. A source with knowledge of the situation tells People that Payne was extremely overwhelmed by all of the legal issues involving Henry. Henry, who's 23, issued a cease and desist order last week to the former One Direction star after she alleged he repeatedly contacted her, according to the Daily Mail. The one time couple were reportedly engaged before calling off their relationship in 2022, the Daily Mail reported. In a TikTok shared on October 6th by Henry, a Texas reared model and the author of the novel Looking Forward, she alleged that her ex, whom she doesn't name but associates with One Direction fans, continues to blow up her phone. If you are on TikTok, you can just look her up. She really goes into all of the details, and it is wild that people who are fans are acting like her experiences aren't her experiences simply because they're a fan of this man. So the fact that she even had to address this, and she does in a nearly 9 minute long TikTok, she shouldn't have to defend her experiences simply because you thought that this man was attractive and you liked his songs. All right, Liam Payne died after falling multiple stories at the Casa Sur Palermo Hotel in Buenos Aires on Wednesday, October 16th. Policia Federal Argentina confirmed to People. Police are investigating the cause of his death and an autopsy will be performed. Photos obtained by the Daily Mail alleged to be of his hotel room shows what appears to be extensive narcotics paraphernalia and a smashed television. Argentine news channel TN was first to report the news of his death. Payne is survived by his 7-year-old Bear Gray with his ex, Girls Aloud singer Cheryl. So people are, I am not a fan. I'm not a stan. I'm not a super fan of anybody, but people are in this world right now that will have to they'll have to get over their fanhood to understand that these people are capable of doing these things. A lot is being exposed this year, and people are going to have to recognize that even if you are a fan, even if you are attracted to them or like their singing, they could still be a monster to somebody. And you're going to have to reconcile those thoughts. And you're going to have to get over it. And you're going to have to not berate the person that is claiming that they were abused by them. All right, y'all, join the conversation and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
Okay, I'm going to address some of these comments and kind of break it down. So I've been seeing ones like this everywhere, and honestly, ones that say she needs to keep his name out of her mouth. She's obsessed, blah, blah, blah. They broke up years ago. Well, I made a 5-second TikTok about something he talked about on a podcast. He was the one airing out everyone's dirty laundry on a podcast. So it's okay for him to talk shit, but the minute I make a 5-second video, it's over, right? Also, you're calling me obsessed. Oh, she's crazy. This happened when you are with someone who's obsessed, blah, 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 blah. Y'all don't even know what happens behind closed doors or in private. Ever since we broke up, he messages me, will blow up my phone, mind you, not only from his phone number, it's always from different phone numbers too. So I never know where it's going to come from. He'll create new iCloud accounts to iMessage me. It's always a damn new iCloud account. I'm like, every time I see one pop up on my phone, I'm like, here we fucking go again. Also, will email me. And he does this when he gets his phone taken away. Also, not only me, but he'll blow up my mom's phone. Is that normal behavior to you? But I'm crazy for making a 5-second TikTok about something that he brought to the internet. And is also messaging my friends. Not only was he messaging them, I found out later while we were together, so they could go over to his house apparently. But then was messaging my best friend to come over to his house when his girlfriend was gone. Was saying, oh, my girlfriend's gone, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's the one that is constantly doing weird shit. And also, might I add, literally said, oh, the reason he has all these people on his damn Snapchat, which he has for years apparently, that he messages or whatever, and on Instagram. And he says that he preys on One Direction fans because they will always be loyal to him and they won't tell on him. So it's like, okay, not only are you and also you weaponize your own fan base. It's like, oh, people are also saying, she just wants money, blah, 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 blah. Who's paying her to do this? I don't need money. What are y'all not getting here? I never needed it when it's just not even a topic of discussion. And also, oh, she's just with him for money, blah, 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 blah. I never needed his money. He never even paid for anything for me. I literally paid for everything myself. It's not like I was going shopping on his Amex. Like, calm down. But also the fans that ride for him so hard, I will never understand. Okay, support whoever you love, whatever. But when you constantly enable someone, they're never gonna realize what they've done is bad, or they do realize, but they know that they can get away with it, which is what has happened to him for so many damn years. Everything gets swept under the rug. Everything gets hidden for him. I don't know who the hell is behind all of this, but nothing ever comes out about him, because either I understand people are scared, but also it's hard when you have these people that jump down your throat for speaking the truth on things that have happened, and quite frankly, very disgusting things that have happened and disgusting things that he's done. And he knows that too. He knows that he can get away with anything. He's told me. And, oh, don't tell anyone because they're not going to believe you anyways. Like, the fans always have our back. We can do whatever, we want, and they're always going to defend us. And he's right. That's the thing, is he's not even wrong, and he knows, and he uses that. So if that's who y'all want to defend, have fucking at it. You're defending someone you don't even know. You literally don't know him. I lived in a house with him for years. I'm pretty sure I can speak on my own experiences. And then y'all tell me, oh, no, he would never do that. Do you hear yourself? And then everyone is just sitting here saying, oh, well, I'm not going to go too much into me talking about the damn book, but, oh, that was all fake, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. I'm literally saying, no, it's not. But I think everyone wants to selectively believe what they want to believe. Anyways, this 5-second TikTok just turned into like a bunch of shit. But yeah, also talking shit about your bandmates and then showing up to their concerts. But it's always for your own benefit. It's not even because you actually just want to go support. You want to go stand up there and like take the attention away from everyone. And you're standing there Really? Because you know everyone's going to be videotaping you. And just like you did at Louis' concert the day my book came out, don't even get me started. That's going to be another story time of what happened before my damn book came out and like the lengths these people fucking went to. That's next. Don't even get me started with these damn fucking manipulations. But yeah, it's like this whole thing happened and then pops up at Louis' concert. And I just can't even, I just have to tell the whole story because it's long. But, anyways, yeah, to distract because he literally knows that if he's with any of the boys, that it's going to get so much attention and it's going to go crazy on like social media or whatever. So, yeah. Also, is there a statute of limitation of for when I can talk freely on TikTok? Why years later? Well, if you knew everything that happened, like, that's the thing. You just don't even know what's happened. So I have a right to fucking say whatever I feel on TikTok. First Amendment right, freedom of speech. And it's not like I'm freaking lying. So, and also people saying, oh, you know, giving me shit for writing a book. Well, people write songs. What's the fucking difference? You can express your feelings in a song. I can express what I went through in a book. I'm sorry, but it's just such a double standard that is honestly just insane to me. I'll never understand. And it's actually disappointing that I wrote something of experiences that I went through, not only to help other women not feel alone, but to hopefully like give women the bravery to speak on these topics. And because they're topics that are, I feel like, kind of shunned, even though they're so universal, they seem to be so controversial at the same time. So, yeah, it's not about the money. I don't need to write a book to make money. I do it because it's something I love and it's something I went through and it's something that I, you know, maybe a girl can read it and feel less alone in the situation she's in if it's, you know, similar, you know, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, that's my rant for today. I just had to address some of these comments because I keep saying all this shit everywhere. I know this kind of had like nothing to do with the TikTok that I posted, but it all coincides with each other. And yeah, there's a lot more to the story. So I guess stay tuned because I feel like I'll be answering more questions.
I was sent this post from a couple of days ago, and I thought it was important to talk about because violence against women is a real thing. This was in the Does Anybody Else subreddit. She says, does anybody else make themselves look ugly on purpose to avoid actual harassment? She says, this is mostly about being a woman. I get targeted far more than I can handle. And in the past, it got so bad, I shaved my head to make myself unappealing because men wanted to hurt me for saying no. It sucks because then I don't feel beautiful for myself. And then old boomer and Gen X men will harass me and misgender me, but looking ugly on purpose has saved me. It is crazy the lengths women go through to try to stay safe. And then the men come into our spaces, and then some women into our spaces as well to act like women are overreacting when women are simply giving like ideas or like tips on how they have to stay safe. Like literally, if if women could just go around and just live, women wouldn't be sharing these types of stories and experiences. But it's not particularly safe to just exist as a woman and just go outside and just exist. It's not safe for women. And then men get on these in these internet streets and act like women are just bitter and have baggage. Maybe they have baggage and are bitter because of the experiences. This woman shaved her head. She shaved her head so that she can stay safe. I think that people like this have a right to be bitter and angry. All right, let's get into some of these comments. Upset Reference says, I also sometimes wear a fake engagement ring whenever I go out of the house. Majority of men that would have hit on me decide not to because they respect another man's relationship more than a woman saying no. Forgot my password says, I've started doing this for exactly the reason you said, and it's extremely effective. Just Another Baby Witch says, I found out that solo female travelers do this, and it definitely is very helpful. Immediate Pool says, yeah, they only respect when they think I'm another man's property. Lulin says they probably just don't want to deal with a jealous husband. Not that it's any better, but just saying. And Tonk says, yeah, unfortunately, the only type of consequence these types of men respect or fear is another man's violence. They know how pathetically unlikely it is they'll be prosecuted for rape, let alone harassment. I'm super lucky I met my lovely husband, but when I was young, I experienced so many instances of SA or harassment, and really get how OP feels because I do the same thing. Rationally, I know the type of person who would SA someone wouldn't clothing or I'm sorry, wouldn't mind, I guess, clothing or looks to dissuade them. I mean, I've been heckled by two separate a-holes outside the supermarket while I look sleep deprived, carrying my baby to the car. Yet I still only wear dresses and skirts if I'm out with family or my husband. I have tried to ignore that, but damn, trauma stone in my stomach gets real heavy if I do. Sucks. Allison Wonderland says, I wore a fake engagement ring in Vegas. Wild how many women have come to this conclusion. Diligent Sunday says, does this seriously still work? I'm happily married and have been realistically off the market for decades. And if I'm being honest, never really had the desire or drive to be hitting on random people anyway. With that said, I've never noticed if someone has a ring on or not before I talk to them. Who are these guys who have the entitled testicles to come after you with no signal, but stop at the hint of what would most likely be polite rejection? You know, it sounds like this person is a man. It sounds like he's a man because he's asking these obtuse questions. And women don't know if these things are going to work. Women don't know if wearing baggy clothes or shaving their heads or wearing a ring works. It's kind of like someone's like comfort pillow or blankie or something. It's just what women do to feel just a little bit safer in a world where we know that women aren't safe. This person says, kind of similar. I'm walking my dog and was just thinking how it finally feels like fall and I can go jogging outside because it's finally cool enough that I can wear sweatpants and a jacket so men don't feel welcome to interact with me. And Nemo Cognito says, I used to walk with a hunch to make my boobs look smaller, but now I'm working on walking straight, but it's hurting my back. I have kids now, so that's been a great deterrent whenever I'm out and about. No one's interested in approaching the frazzled mom arguing with her son in the produce section. And this person says, same, I really need to work on correcting my posture because standing straight up and making the girls sit up is just like, oh, I should go talk to her. This is just sad what women have to go through. It's just really crazy what women have to go through just to survive. All right, y'all, let me know. Do you make yourself look ugly on purpose? Join the conversation. Let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I came across this thread a couple of days ago, and I'm so glad that I did because I wanted to talk about this. So, Kyla Types says, do you remember a few years ago when women tried to tell Victoria's Secret that their product was not working for us and their marketing seemed to be targeting men? Then some guy from the C suite said their stuff fit who it needed to fit, and their marketing was aspirational. Fine. And they were going to stay the course. Their sales tanked and they fired the dude, hired some women, and started doing strong woman marketing. Their sales didn't immediately uptick because their product didn't get better, and they still made their poorly made undies in prison sweatshops. She says, I remember. Well, now they've hired a guy to creative direct, and he says he's redefining the fashion show. Right? By redefining, he means doing a beat for beat early 2000 style Victoria's Secret fashion show. It's almost like they started doing the same stuff they were always doing. Nothing is ever going to get better until we make them believe that we can hold a grudge. This resonated with me so much because I have two kids, right? And before I had two kids, I used to wear Victoria's Secrets. I used to wear their bras. I used to love their bras. But then once I had my baby, my first child, I went looking for bras because Victoria's Secret sells underwear, right? And so you would think that they would make bras for women who need to wear bras. They don't. And once I saw that they didn't have like bras for breastfeeding moms, because you need to snap, unsnap, blah, 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 they didn't have that. And I'm like, and then, they don't have bras for bigger women. Like, you gain weight, you have babies, you gain weight. They don't make bras for bigger women. And women with bigger boobs would say these things like they don't make bras for me. And so that day, once I couldn't find any bras, I left them alone and haven't looked back since because they don't make underwear for real women. And I don't even mean real women because women are wearing them, but like women doing everyday life. Not all of us need to have our boobs pushed up to our chins. Some of us simply need something that works with our life, like breastfeeding moms that need to whip out the source, whip out the milk source, and then go about life. We don't all need lacy, pretty stuff all the time. Some of us just need stuff that are that gets you through the day. So that was my story. And, I know people still want to wear Victoria's Secret because it's one of those brands that have been around forever, but it's just not practical. And not all of us are that size. And not everybody aspires to be that size. Some of us just need something that works and is functional. So y'all can weigh in. I'll do a few of these comments. Damn, Mizzy says it wasn't some guy in the C-suite. It was a founder, a white woman, and she was finally pushed out of the company a few years ago. In 2017, I worked at a firm, and Victoria's Secret was a longtime client. There were many conversations about the business model and trends, but the founder refused to budge on the founding ideals. The business was dying, and we moved people from the Victoria's Secret account to new accounts because we knew the end was coming. Also, the pink concept was initiated by Jeffrey Epstein, so do what you will with that info. And no matter who created these ideas, regardless, all of the people that were in the decision-making office, they wanted this bra to be for slender model-like women. And, brands like Rihanna's Fenty, Savage Fenty came out and started making bras for bigger girls or making bras for everyday women. And then it seems like they needed to adjust. But women have been telling them these are not working. And women started just walking away. Carabella says also there's never been a female founder of VS. It was founded by Roy Raymond and is now owned by Lex Wexner. Skate Goddess says, yes, it was the founder saying stuff, but the founder was never a white woman. It was Les Wexner, a man. They hired the woman that used to be the CEO for Spanx. That may be who you're talking about. They definitely stay hanging on the legacy brand or aspirational brand vibe, even though it's a super passe business model, and everyone tells them so, LOL. They were a client of mine too at one point. It was crazy trying to have conversations with them that pushed them to the new era. So I'm going to end it with that. I thought that was interesting. It's been interesting being old enough to have worn this and have gone through the changes of life that put you on the other side where it's just like, yeah, no, I just need functional. But y'all let me know where you are. Are you still wearing Victoria's Secret? Did you ever wear Victoria's Secret? Were you like, man, yeah, no, this don't fit me? Join the conversation and let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
I'm 81 today, but Sunday I'll be 82.
Betty Cartledge has seen a lot in her 81 years, but she's never seen the inside of a voting booth. Well, that was until Wednesday afternoon.
I'm in the vote for the first time in my life.
Betty, with the help of her niece Wanda, voted for the very first time at this polling location in Covington. She says she never voted before because her husband didn't think she should. Last year, her husband died. This year, Betty voted.
I was so young and everything when we got married. I didn't ever think about it. And then when I got old, I still didn't think about it. It would count.